Okay guys, so hello and welcome to the next round of the playoffs. ReBBL playoffs round of 16. Today we've got the Highgate Wardens against the Nurgtown Crooners. I'm of course your host Tomo. Currently there's no one else in the co-caster seat, so I'm rocking this solo until someone cares to jump in with me. So I'm still waiting on confirmation that the game's actually going to be starting at past, like it says on the calendar. But we're starting, looking at the teams, with the Highgate Wardens. Burner making a few changes to his team since last week. You got a few level ups that are going to be looking good. The first big one is his thrower here. God, how do you say that? Rasion Maliatinu, who actually rolled double sixes, and because he's a high elf thrower, he's elected to take strong arm instead of the strength point. There's probably going to be a lot of coaches that are kind of a little bit mystified by that choice, but as an elf coach, I completely agree. If you're going to be playing kind of like a long throwing game, which the high elves are suited to, then strong arm is just really good. Like making those big long bomb passes on like a 2+, 3+ is just so worth it. You know, throw the entire pitch and get good odds on doing it. It's a great skill. On top of that, we've actually got a Nuffles Altar now, which is going to be making the star players cheaper. So he's getting, what, 50k off of Eldril, 50k off Moranion if he chooses to get them, which he probably will, coming on the TV difference. And we don't have... I thought he'd end up buying a rookie blitzer, but he hasn't ended up doing that. Yeah, Eldril and Moranion are both awesome, but I question the decision making. Like, maybe I'm told that he bought this for this game. If he had this before, then what I'm about to say doesn't really count. But if he spent 100k to get a Nuffles Altar to get 50k off of like both Eldril and Moranion, then you know that's just money that you're kind of like spending money to spend the same amount of money. I don't see where the saving is there. But actually, looking at the team, the throw is amazing. You know, great for picking the ball up, staying deep, and then passing right over the top. Got 3 catches, 1 built as a killer, which is really good. With both Mighty Blow and Tackle. We have an Agi5 Blodge Leaper, which I can testify to is a great piece. And we have a Juggernaut Dodge Catcher at the minute. On top of that, we've got 1 Guard Lineman for this game and a Kick Lineman. If there's one thing I'm not really keen on about this team, it's just he's got a real lack of block, basically. Like, granted, he's not going to want to pull the Nurgle into a fight, or rather, he's not going to want to commit to a fight with Nurgle. But, you know, there's just... I don't see safe blocks here. And if you can't take any blocks at all, then you can't really open up space. I mean, fair play, he's got the killer Blitzer, who he's going to want to be hitting with as much as possible, but aside from that, you know, I feel like he can get bullied here. And I don't really see how he's going to solve the problem. But having a look at the Nurgtown Crooners now. I just saw Synergy loading into the game there, so maybe we'll get some news about the game. Okay, yeah, so the Nurgtown Crooners here, remarkably healthy. No damage or anything on this so far. Of course, he did lose his Saka Pestigore before making playoffs. You know, the last 2 games have kind of suited him quite well. You know, all of his Nurgle Warriors have got Guard, all of them got Block. There's a good splattering Mighty Blow, some Stand Firm there. You know, the Beast of Nurgle is just straight up amazing. With Break Tackle, he's got on that now. So Strength 6, Stand Firm. Really, really strong piece. And you know, we've got the Agi5 Pestigore and everything as well. You know, it's just another thing where, like, I've played this kind of matchup before, and it always feels a little bit painful. You know, being the elf team, trying to run around the Nurgle, and it just, like... I feel like the way that the elves win this is by taking the least amount of damage possible. They need to run away, they need to disengage as much as they can, and they need to try and, you know, get guys in deep to force Synergy to actually make decisions kind of, like, bringing guys back so they can then throw right over the top of the stink and everything with that amazing thrower that he's got. And the game's just got into inducements, so we'll be starting shortly. The inducements, according to Synergy, are a Wizard, Moranion, Zara, and a level 2 Blitzer. He's spent 30k of his own money. You know, the interesting thing about that is there's no babes or anything there. There's no bribes and there's no, you know, wandering apples. So, you know, the high elf coach here is definitely going in it to win it here. Spoilers, guys. When in fact, hang on, I'll bring up my logo thing. I'm just thinking if I click this search thing here, you're gonna see what the other game, the score of that's going on at the minute. Okay, the game's not live yet. We're just waiting for it to come up. Like I said, Synergy says there are any adjustments, so we should be starting shortly. And here we go. Just loading up now. Okay, so I can do away with this screen again. Preparation of magicians, loaders, and ammunition. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I feel like, you know, if this devolves into a fight, Synergy's gonna win it, but at the same time, like, when you're playing elves, when you've got Eldril, you've got a wizard, and you've got an Agi5 Leaper, there's always a chance of you getting the ball down, securing it, and then if you can make a pass play to someone in scoring range or someone who's out in the open, you can get a really good turnover that way. So I feel like that's where Burner's gonna have to do to win the game. Like, on his offense, push Synergy to make, you know, exploit the slowness of the Nurgle team by sending guys deep. And on defense, just waiting for the right moment, have someone in scoring range, and then get the ball down and recover it using Eldril and the Wizard and your Agi5 Leaper. So, looking at it, the Nurgtown Crooners won the toss and chose to receive. The Highgate Wardens have the fame? Yes. With 21-17. So that's just +1 there. He's managed to secure himself with those star players and everything. He's managed to secure himself quite a deep bench as well. Yes, Yabi chose to receive, which I actually really like in playoff Blood Bowl, choosing to receive, because you can use your, you know, your rerolls and things to make sure you score. Whereas on defense, you know, you can kind of sit off from using your rerolls, and it's more on kind of like the offensive team having the pressure to not lose the ball and to score themselves, where you can actually, you know, you can force the offensive team in the second half to use rerolls and then go into overtime with more rerolls. So I definitely think that when you're playing like knockout Blood Bowl in playoffs with overtime, like receiving fast, either way is definitely an advantage. Is there a good one-turn touchdown threat? No, there's no natural one-turner here. There's no movement 9-piece either. I mean, he's got 3 stand firm, at least. So you can put them on the lines and secure that there's no pushes and come to the back, and there's no natural one-turn threat. So, like I said, you know, you really want to just kind of receive and beat down the elves, basically. Make it so that they're going to have a harder offensive drive, and force them to use their rerolls in the second half. He chose to keep his thrower off the pitch, which, you know, I suggest is quite wise. He doesn't have block, so if it got hit, there'd be a strong chance of it kind of like going down. And this is like a really huge piece when it comes to his offensive play. I imagine he's just going to be doing the standard elf thing of receiving and dropping back deep and trying to draw the Nurgle forward before kind of securing a passing lane somewhere. And the game's off. We've got a high kick. The Nurgtown Crooners receiving. I would think that Sinji would try to catch it with his Rotter, yeah. And that way, when the Wizard comes out, you've got your Agi5 Sure Hands guy. you know, to secure the ball after that. Three loners on the line. Some would suggest that that's a perfect elf defensive line. And we're starting with pushes. Nurgle Warrior here, of course, only 2 SPP away from leveling. That's something we're going to have to keep our eye on over the course of this game. Is the star player Zara? Yes, it is. We have Zara on the pitch. Oh no, Eldril actually. We've got Moranion and Zara. Like, Moranion I like if you manage to get a sack on the ball. It also helps you fighting a bit. And I talked about the problem of the elves not really having much block on their team, so there was no real safe blocks. Like, Moranion definitely helps with that. But at the same time, I feel like Eldril just opens up so many options for you when you're, you know, like securing and recovering a ball if it goes down that you would really want it. We're seeing, you know, the first victim of the day falling to the killer here in the role of a line elf in the middle. Yeah, it's a dead elf, but he was dead to begin with. So the Beast of Nurgle's moving. I think you want to put him like there or there. I don't know. I guess opening him up to stab's not really cool. There's always a chance that, you know, Zara rolls super high. I think what I would have liked from Synergy is to see a blitz maybe onto here and then jam the Beast in here with some support to make sure that Moranion couldn't get, you know, very good dice on him. But still, Synergy's definitely playing conscious here of making sure he holds the line, secures the ball, leaves no gaps for the elves to really kind of like run through. So a super safe start, you know, showing a lot of respect for both the speed that the high elves possess as well as the wizard. And because he's only, well, if he really wanted to. No, in fact, actually he can't, just because of the guard that's here. Wow, double skulls there. I think he might eat that. No, he doesn't. Of course he doesn't. He rolls it and gets rewarded for a Kaz onto the kicker. I guess the kick piece has done its job, kicked the ball down the field. You know, and now he's going to be out for the rest of the game. So that's 2 elves down so far. The Nurgle kind of like asserting their dominance in the punching game so far. Because of you know, the placement of the rot is here. You know, it's very hard to see a world where kind of like the high elves come running through here. I mean, you're against a wizard and an Agi 5 leaper. You know, there's always a chance that he just decides, you know what, stuff it. Wizards the ball and then sends this guy running through. But, you know, a lot of people suggest actually, you know, when you've got the wizard in kind of like an overtime format thing, actually keeping it as a little bit of an equalizer when it goes to overtime. So I'd be interested to see here if Burner chooses to commit it to try and turn it over the Nurgle or not. And if Synergy gives him an option to, as well. Inzara's cool, but I definitely would have liked to have seen Eldril instead. You know, just kind of like getting rid of a tackle zone and opening up running lanes, or, you know, hypno-gazing someone off the ball, or even hypno-gazing the Beast of Nurgle, you know? If the Beast of Nurgle finds itself on like 4 elves or something, which is a situation you're obviously trying to avoid in the first place, but if it does happen, then, you know, you could always hypno-gaze it off. We do have the Blitzer here with Induced Dodge, which could be really interesting. The Elf Catcher here just rolling pushes. He's really going to want another Elf here, but then, you know, mind you, he can do it with the Guard guy. You're either putting a guard guy here, one of your catches, or Moranion. So there's definitely going to be a big target around here for you to punch. The Agi5 Leaper is not a piece I'd be interested in screening off with. This is the type of piece you want to be protecting at all costs, and if I was Synergy here, I'd zone in on that and take any shot you can to remove this from the game. This is a win condition for elves, and if you can remove it, it would be huge. Secure the ball in a good cage, kind of decide where you're going to pressure and then hit this thing here. I think is kind of going to be the menu for this turn. If the ball was a little bit closer, you could maybe suggest blitzing the guard down and then running through the gap here. Since there's only kind of like a, the guard piece there is the only member of the screen. You could bust it open. But instead, Synergy is opting to move away from, the good pieces over here by caging up on the left-hand side, doing an anti-leap cage. Making sure that this rot is probably going to stay around here. Just to make sure he doesn't give up too much control of the sides. But I still, I'll be very, very surprised if this catcher doesn't take a punch here. To be fair on Banner, he's in a very bad situation here. He's already had 2 of his linemen removed. And those are like 2 elves that basically took shots for the better pieces, Like, it's going to reach a point where, he just doesn't have anything to hide his better pieces behind. This is a wee bit weird, hiding out Alona behind Zara. But like I said, I don't see a world here where Zara gets hit. Like, the only piece I really see getting hit here is this catcher. It goes for the guard piece, okay. Doesn't pile on, so we're going to see him kind of like drop back behind his line here to make it so that it can't get hit. Just kind of like safe, prudent play here, Synergy's ahead, he doesn't want to give up kind of like a stupid foul or something, that would give him a shot on one of his better pieces and a way to really kind of, come back into the game by removing good things. So I really like this, being conservative, take the hit. There's no natural armor breaks, so just kind of like drop back instead of trying to force the break. So what sort of options do the elves have here? With this catcher here, he's can be a potential range to kind of like run away with it a little bit. If he gets to there, or even GFIs to there, no one would be able to catch him. But the hard part is actually getting the ball down. We could use the lightning bolt, then he's got the RG5 to recover and do something with, but if it all feels, incredibly difficult, there's plenty of Nurgle pieces around the ball, and of course the Beast of Nurgle and everything at the front is just an incredibly difficult situation for the elves to be in. So we see the elves basing up here a little bit. That's... Where's he go? Oh, right, he's going in the top here, taking the shot on the Mighty Blow Tackle dude. Rolls double pows, Pestigog goes down, and there's no armor break there. Unfortunately now he's got 3 players based up on this Agi5, on this Strength 5 piece here. Which is something that, Synergy definitely won't mind. Wow, 2 stars, he must have had a ton of inducements. Yeah, he's got a Merc Blitzer with dodge as well, Papa. And a Wizard. Yeah, 2 stars, Merc Blitzer and a Wizard. So yeah, like, one piece in here anywhere, and this, Nurgle Warrior is automatically getting a hit on any of these things. Yeah, I'd suggest he probably goes for the guard. You know, get 2 dice on the guard there. He's already showed that he likes hitting that. And then he's got, you know, his Killer Pestigore, which could go for any of these stars. Yep, that's what we're seeing. Guard guy holds. He's taking his punches and he's staying in the game so far. Extra apple babes? No, no apples, no babes. Just the 3, like, extra players and a wizard. And that's another reason I'm surprised to see, you know, Zara come out instead of Eldril. Like, you know, for me, kind of like, Eldril's cheap as well. Like, you've got the Hypno Gaze effect that can really open up options in a matchup like this, and you've got, you know, Andy's only 200k. Seeing a hit onto Moranion, that's just pushes. There's one thing that Synergy struggled with so far in playoffs. It has been his offensive drives a little bit, and he knows this. You know, he's been, you know, practicing his offensive drives. You know, making sure he's gaining enough ground. So I imagine that the High Elf coaches will be quite aware of that. And with the way that he's kind of like spreading out, trying to choke off the field, you know, it kind of looks like he's trying to kind of like hold his ground. You know, deny forward momentum. You know, and force Synergy into a bad way of having to commit dodges or something to try and score. But all that's reliant on his armor holding, which so far it is. This guy's staying in the game, you know, and his last couple of hits have just been pushes and things, so, you know, that's been fine. Obviously, we've had the 2 linemen removed. But, you know, he's still kind of got enough players to keep this screen going. If we see another couple of more removals, though, you know, this line is going to be spread thinner and thinner and thinner until the Nurgle can kind of break through it. So the longer that the High Elves kind of armor holds, you know, the better situation that they're going to be in here. Wardens don't count as undead for Zara's bonus. I really don't know. No, it says Khemri, Necromantic, Undead, or Vampires. So no, that doesn't count. I mean, yeah, the strength 4 is a big deal. You know, like, I really like Zara. Looking at it, you know, it's 6'4", 3'8", with Blodge. You know, and a whole bunch of other skills that are really, really good. So I think, you know, like, Zara's a fine star player. I just think when you're against a Nurgle team like this as Elves, you need a little bit of magic just to kind of open a door that where there's not necessarily a door in the first place, and I feel like Eldril can do that. So we're seeing Synergy kind of push up a little bit on this turn here with his Beast of Nurgle. He's kind of committing to basing up some of the pieces here, which is what I was talking about, how, you know, Burner's going to actually have to, like, roll some dice. Stab failed, so Zara will no doubt be taking a punch next turn. With Blodge, though, she's got the good defensive skills to survive it. His guard guy's kind of like too far away to get into this position here. And that's what you would need to get kind of like, you know, like 2 dice on the beast. Because the beast strength 6, you know, like 4, 5, 6. So he needs kind of like a guardian here or here if he's going to get 2 dice on it. Unless, you know, Dauntless works. So that'd be what? 4, 5, 6. You're talking what? 3 plus on Dauntless actually gets you a hit on the beast. So that's still there. We're seeing rerolls onto hits onto like a Pestigor. Now it is a tackle piece, so you could argue that that's a, you know, like something huge, but I'd be worried here as the elf coach because you're starting to leave a lot of guys based up and vulnerable for punches. He also needs to be double skull into Moranian. That could be very, very costly. I don't have my armor breaks on, do I? So yeah, if you're looking at it now, we're getting what? Hit here, hit here, hit here, hit here. Hit on one of these two and a blitz. You know, like, Synergy needs to be careful when he's doing these hits here that, you know, he's actually making sure the ball stays protected. But I feel like this tad signifies a huge opportunity for him to do some damage to some elves. As well as gaining ground. So he's the first hit. It's an armor break, and it's an injury. So a guard guy with the third hit is actually removed from the pitch. That's a nasty niggle to have too. It's not the type of thing you can apple because it's just a lino, but you know, you really don't like to see that. I think you're overestimating Zara a little bit there, Metal. Like, Zara's not going to stop the elves from being removed. You know what, it's a stylistic choice, I've heard. Like, some kind of, like, you know, rumors from the elf Discord is that, you know, Burner's not a huge fan of Eldril. So, like, I think it's more like he doesn't like Eldril than he actually likes Zara to a certain extent. But like, I don't know, I don't see what difference Zara's making here. That's a natural break onto the RG5. I would like to see a pylon here, and out it comes. Doesn't get the removal. I mean, fair play, he does have a 3-man bench. So, you know, right now, he's still got 11 on 11 in the second half. But, you know, we still got like a whole half of the elves taking hits. And with the RG5, you know, since he actually managed to get hits onto the RG5 and actually get it stunned, I feel like the wizard becomes less effective. Because you don't have a really, really good kind of, you know, recovery piece. For me, like, a wizard alone isn't enough. You want as much stuff to throw in on the wizard commitment turn as possible. And that's why I'm a fan of Eldril. But, you know, Burner's made it here. He's not a fan of Eldril. You know, and that's okay too. Okay, yeah, Zara's a commitment to fight Nurgle. Like, I don't know, you're not beating this team in a fight. Having said that, Zara's in no way the fault of anything that's kind of like gone this way so far. You know, like, Zara's more or less been irrelevant, just kind of like holding this thing down there. And I don't mean irrelevant in a bad way. I mean, like, nothing Zara could have done could have stopped anything that's happened so far with these removals, or the way that's coming forward. So far I feel like she's neither been a positive or a negative. You know, maybe we'll see some kind of like huge play at some point, and we're all like, wow, that Zara play was a beast. But you know, like right now I'm still struggling to see it. Oh, right, you're saying she's a commitment, right. You're saying she's a commitment to fight, so you don't mean that, like, you know, it's not a commitment by Banner to fight, it's a commitment by... Okay, so yeah, you need the tackle. You basically need one, like your Pestigore, your tackle Pestigore and assist to get a hit. Is more what you're saying, rather than Burner making the commitment. It's forcing Synergy to make the commitment, is what you're saying. Nope, yep, that's the comment I've already made. Like, whether it was Zara or Eldril standing there, you know, it wouldn't have made a difference so far. As I've explained, you know, a few times now, though, like, I feel like if you're going for the magic turn play with a wizard into the Agi 5 Leaper recovery, having Eldril there just to kind of like further open up the gate for me. Just going for that kind of like one turn magic of actually turning on the drive around. You know, he would have been better for that. Whereas, like you're saying, you know, Zara kind of constitutes something a little different too. As I mentioned again, you know, Burner doesn't like Eldril, so Eldril was never going to appear here. So he's the block by Zara. Oh, she gets the armor break. There's a KO. So Zara claiming a Nurgle warrior there. Dauntless doesn't work, but he's got the answer he wanted. Ooh! My animation didn't come on there, so I'm assuming regen's worked, which it has. You know, that could have been a massive play from the two Elf-Star players here. And you know what? He's actually pulled the numbers a little bit further towards even again now. So we're currently 9 versus 10 on the field. And yeah, I've mentioned a few times that like the more players he's got in comparison to Synergy, you know, the more players he can kind of, you know, block up the field with, the harder it's going to be for Synergy to actually score here. Yep. The High Elf star players, you know, coming up big that last turn. Yeah, Yabi, Zara just got a KO with 2 dice block on one Nurgle warrior. So let's see how this develops now. A punch under the lone alignment, which I like actually. You know, you punch the guy that doesn't have the defensive skills. No break. He's probably not going to pile that on. Yeah, keep the assist to hit Moranion with. There is the hit on Moranion. So Wrestle here could potentially prove a problem unless Synergy opts to reroll it. And reroll it he does. He just gets pushes, but now we're kind of, you know, we're creeping towards 10, 6, 7, 8. It's the second half of the drive. You know, and there's still no obvious sort of like scoring threat. Not really scoring threat, but like it's not obvious how Synergy's gonna score, is what I'm saying. You know, the High Elves are actually holding their ground very well, considering the amount of them that have been removed. And as long as he can keep putting elves, you know, in front of the ball and forcing Synergy to make decisions, you know, there's actually a chance of him stopping this. Here comes the Rodder from the backfield, running forward with the foul onto the RG5 catcher. Real boxcars on the armor into just a stun, so we're now 8 on 8 in this half. And removing this piece would be huge for the game. Like, it's incredibly difficult to lock down an RG5 Bludge Leaper. You know, like, it didn't work out for him, but I 100% think that was the correct play in trying to take a shot on this guy. Yeah, the score still is looking a little bit shaky. And if you go like, what, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, which you can kind of set up relatively easily, you know, you're saying to the Nurgle, okay, you're going to have to run around me here. And, you know, the Nurgle don't exactly have the speed. If the Nurgle can get some removals, you know, again, it can open up the door. But, you know, with the way it is right now, there is still a chance, especially with the Wizard still in play, that, you know, the Elves could hold this. Violent games tonight? I wouldn't know. I wasn't watching the other game. I've got no idea. But of course, you know, if you guys wanted to check over on Holy Crusaders channel at the moment, there is the other playoff game going on between, what's it? It's Surge, so the Scuffling Dead and what was it? Lords of the Dance. Yeah, we're basing up the Nurgle still a little bit. Moranion does have... Was Moranion on the floor? I don't think he was. Or was he? Necro versus Nurgle and Regen didn't turn up. I must admit, as a big old fan, I want Surge to win that one, but I wouldn't be sad to see him take some losses if it's turning up to be a game like that. Juggernaut helping the push, actually, though. So, right now, there is still a way. You've got a 2-dice block here. If you can blitz this guy down, you know, you can kind of get around the corner as the Nurgle. And try and get a cage around here, perhaps. But still, the Wizard's still in play. And, you know, you need to be very, very careful about where you keep the ball. Yeah, just saw. Again, I stand by what I just said. Like, I'm not unhappy to see that, but I would like, you know, Surge to do well. Again, my animation's not showing up for that KO there, but that was a KO. I did put the on, didn't I? I did save. Yeah, armor breaks on. Oh, did it? Okay. It just didn't register in my head for some reason. It's been a long day, and the heat's really getting to me. I'm a redhead from the north of England. I'm not designed to deal with 30+ degrees temperatures like we're getting in Japan at the moment. So yeah, like Synergy's got a choice here whether he wants to commit to try and get around the corner. Maybe kind of like screen off with, you know, you can get a Nurgle warrior kind of like maybe to around here. You know, he could get the RG5 guy around, but, you know, it is a bit of a commitment. Or whether he wants to kind of maybe hold his ground a little bit. What he needs to keep, though, in the back of his head, that next turn, by the end of next turn, he needs a clear scoring threat. I mean, RG5's on the ground, which is good for him. And there's no clear kind of like counter-scoring threat by Banner. So he doesn't need to worry too much about committing guys back. But, you know, he definitely needs to think about actually coming forward, which he has. So one GFI and this guy can score. You know, he's got another turn to develop the Rotter into a better scoring threat as well. So you're already thinking about it now, which is good. But with these players here, he's actually managed to tie up some of the more quicker players on the Nurgle team. Oh, one dice pow from the killer. So that's going to free up a Pestigor here. No armor break. You wouldn't pile that on anyway because he just wanted to keep... Oh, he is piling on. He doesn't want to tie up Moranion. Gets the KO onto the loner lineman. Now he could maybe commit to putting the Pestigor maybe around here rather than coming through the back, but I know it's a tough one. Okay, so he is coming around the back there to sort of like complete his cage. He would have to be wary of kind of the Blitzer making a block there and then the Catchers being able to run right the way around the back, but he has given up a shot on the RG5 Pestigor here, which, you know, honestly you take every single time. The thing's niggled as well, so the Mighty Blow piece will be licking his lips at this hit. You know, the strongest player on Synergy's team here is, you know, exposed because he had to protect the ball. Of course, you know, protecting the ball is the most important thing, but this is a great opportunity to do some damage to the Nurgle. RG5's somewhat free though. If he wanted to kind of bring the oh, he's already moved, hasn't he, by bringing Moranion there. But if he hadn't used Moranion, you know, he could have maybe thought about getting a wizard off. Okay, so the RG5 he's choosing to bring back rather than use as kind of like a way to kind of secure the ball. It looks like he's going to be developing that as a counter score threat, which does take numbers away from down here. You know, it could be a huge payoff. Zara picking on this poor Rotter back here. Doesn't break armor though. Yep, that Rotter just stands up, goes, you know, please sir, can I have some more? And now the choice is very much whether he's going to want to try and break back towards the middle or whether he's going to try and commit down the side. The blitz has come out over here, so it looks like he's actually going to try and open up the middle and kind of pivot around here, with the killer kind of coming forward and a few of the other pieces kind of like coming through. But again, he's going to be rolling dice on turn 8. He's absolutely going to be rolling dice on turn 8 to maybe try and secure this scar. What was that ping? I'll just turn off my pings just now, guys, so it doesn't bother you guys. As soon as I can fit it. There we go. So this Pestigor scores with no GFIs. This Rotter scores with a single GFI. Interesting to see where he goes with this Pestigor here. And whether he attempts to try and, like, roll some GFIs to move forward or not. Okay, so that's another scoring threat now. With a single GFI, but he's gonna have to, open up a gap, you would imagine. So there'll be an incredibly important blitz from Synergy next turn. I'll tell you what he could do, actually. It's scary, but if he blitzed this guy down, you've got to power push them back, you could then kind of step across to here with Maranian. Bring this guy in, punch that, and then you're more or less kind of getting a line here, and you're saying like, okay, deal with this. Instead, Maranian's come, kind of marked up the dude here. Oh, we're seeing a hit on the ball from the RG5 guy. Just a push. Gets the reroll into the both down, so the Rotter will go down. With wrestles, the RG5 guy goes down as well. Ball coughs up to here, which is still in 2 tackle zones. So there's no blitz action anymore. You could potentially kind of, well, not really. You'd have to roll some hella dice to actually try and remove one of these guys with this blitzer. But again, you're asking questions now. Because he's going to have to use his blitz to open up a hole to score. Okay, so he's got the hole to score. The question is, how does he get the ball to this Pestigor now? Because he's based up, I'd really like to see this catcher come in and actually base up the Snuggle Warrior now. Aim for a penny, aim for a pound. It would have stopped him from moving guard kind of like around. I mean, realistically, you want to be trying to pick the ball up with RG4 and then hand off to RG5. So you want this guy removed who can be getting off with a push-up better from this guy. And then you need kind of like dice on this guy for a push-up better on Zara. So Zara's strength showing her worth now. I still think though that if you had Eldril, you could have hypno-gazed this guy. And then gotten this guy away with the 2 dice block instead of a 1 dice, and then maybe had a shot to pick up the ball. But Zara herself here is still kind of like showing, okay, kind of strength full bludge, just been really good jammed in there, making things difficult. If it wasn't the wizard, it was the Agi5 Leaper, Papa. So let's think about this. If he brings this guy to here, he's removing those 2 assists. Then you you block here. Okay, so he's got the push. Push that to there. Follow through. So now it's a 3+ pickup. If you blitz this, there'd be a one. No, hang on. Yeah, you just hit there. Okay, yeah, Synergy's whacked this out. Maybe he hasn't. No, you can still get guard in. Or just blitz with the... Yeah, okay, this works too. Power on the Zara. Synergy's whacked this out. Yeah, so we're getting like 2+, 2+, 2+, 2+, 2+. He's made the first one. He's still got a reroll. 2+ handoff. Makes that one. So now you're 1 in 36 to score. And he could get greedy and go for a block, but I doubt it. And he makes the GFI for the touchdown. So Burner's still got the wizard in hand to maybe try and secure a counter score here. Or maybe he does kind of hold on to it and take it into overtime as like an equalizer. But like, the question now in the second half is how long he's going to be able to stall against this Nurgle team. I really like that defense though. You know, he held the line as much as he could. He had both of his KOs come back there, which is really good. You know, Burner held the line as long as he could. He kept putting bodies in front of it. You know, and his armor held about as much as it needed to. You know, for him being able to keep putting pressure on. With a couple of removals, he was getting back onto the Nurgle as well. You know, he was able to put on some, like, you know, really squeeze the space. And then Tilly managed to open up an opportunity for his Agi5 Leaper to get a 1 dice, which was, you know, really good. It's kind of like, it's how you would expect the drive to go. Like, just kind of hold out as long as you can and then kind of take the 1 dice shot. Really good, really super solid play there from Burner. So, the High Elves do have one Juggernaut catcher. A Maven Stan fan, but he doesn't have the speed to be able to score in 1 push here. I wonder if... No, he can't think this is the second half because he's got the killer and everything in the backfield. I don't know, kind of like pieces that you would expect to get hit here is probably this Rotter with the Mighty Blow guy. You know, like feeling that I don't see a 1-turn opportunity because you're up fast enough. You can set up for a, what's it called? God, mind blank, extra turn, Riot. Yep, if he has the Riot now, you know, he's got a great chance of kind of, you know, a 2-turn down this side here, which looks like that's what he's playing for. But the Pestigors are still back far enough to be able to react. Potentially Zara could just stab the Beast of Nurgle here, that is correct. Yeah, this is Nuffle's Altar, the cheaper star players. So, cheering fans, extra reroll for the Highgate Wardens. It's not needed, so yeah, any sort of kind of scoring play here should be out the window. Stab is a failure. Yeah, it looks like we are just going to see the hit on this rotter here. Yeah, with movement 8 you can get there easily. Just round the back, bang, here. I don't know why you're putting that blitz. Okay. Am I missing something here? He's pushing the beast towards the line. Not the beast, the Nurgle warrior there towards the line. Does that do anything? Okay, yeah, so he's kind of worked out a mighty blow hit onto the Almagastrony here. Breaks armor. Just a stun though. And Tentacles stopping any further dodging shenanigans from the looks of it. Roth picks up, steps back out of the stink. And there's a foul. That's not a foul, there's a pass to the catcher there. Which would have been some pickup actually, some catch, I would imagine. So anyhow, that's halftime with Synergy and his Nurgtown Crooners going in 1-0 up against Burner's Highgate Wardens. Three elves dead or injured, all linemen, one rotter sent off, and that's it. So the elves will still have 11 players for the second half. So we are 11 on 11, but like I said, the question now is how long can Burner sort of like hold out before he's actually forced to score. Yes, the apple is still available. And Burner has the fame, as I mentioned in the first half. So Synergy's actually been fairly kind to Burner here by just putting his rotters on the line. I feel like it was probably possible to kind of bring the beast forward, bring some Nurgle warriors forward, and then kind of deny blocks completely. I mean, with the star players, okay, he does have 2 extra guys with, you know, like strength 4 and block to maybe try and block back, but like his team just doesn't have the guard. I kind of feel like to be able to compete even with the extra strength 4 block pieces. With the rotters here, though, you know, he's definitely going to be able to get 3 safe blocks. Well, as safe as 2 dice blocks with, you know, can be with loners in the middle there. But changing weather, nice. A gust of wind takes the ball. That's going to be safely in the backfield for the high elf thrower Rasi and Malayatinu to gather there. Looks like we're going to be seeing a blitz play down the side. Maybe a potential 2-turn on now. Oh, with a double skull though. That's not what you want to see on your first dice roll of the second half. Especially in overtime format, you know, where you're sort of playing for overtime at this point. He gets the knockdown, then just kind of retreats back. Looks like we're rolling just pushes now. Nah, Moranian's had enough of blue push arrows. There you go, the two Loner Blitzers in the middle. Well, Moranian and the Loner Blitzer. Kind of showing the rest of the team how it's done. We're basing up the beast with Zara. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, the high elf thrower doesn't really have to step back here. He can just kind of like hold his ground because the Nurgle don't really have the speed to threaten the ball from this position. So yeah, I feel like it's going to be incredibly important that the Nurgle keep their discipline here. Like, they keep their shape and just don't allow a shot for the elves just to kind of like break through and kind of, you know, get a shot towards the end zone. This Agi5 catch is still hittable though. Not with the kill piece. So you know what, maybe you will be seeing like a hit over here onto kind of like, you know, maybe this lineman. Or if he... Did he just move that? He did. So yeah, either a hit here with the killer, or maybe if he comes around and actually gets dice on Zara that way, and they can then try and move the Beast of Nurgle up a little bit. It may be like a spot like here. You know, it's kind of like one option. But I think what I would like to see is this piece here just come down here and take a shot at the Agi5 dude there. Oh, both on, both down. So yeah, the Agi5 catcher holds. You wonder if he thought you could stab after moving without it being a blitz. You know, he's a high elf coach who doesn't like Eldril. I would have thought he'd played with Zara before, and therefore, you know, I would think he would have known that. I just more think he's feeling like, okay, I'm gonna base the beast up with a strength 4 blodger. I more or less tried to limit the options that the beast has for actually moving down the field and being a nuisance. He gets was that a block with the beast? It was a block with the beast that he follows through with, and you know manages to tie up Moranian with the beast too. Ben has already shown this game that he doesn't mind kind of like uphilling the beast with Moranian. So, not necessarily a super safe play. But, you know, you've got to bet on the beast to actually be able to hold down a bunch of elves. You know, it's just what it's designed to do, isn't it? So are we looking at any potential blocks that are going to come for the elves here? This guy's a huge one. If you wanted to, we can uphill the beast, and if that works off, you can have hits here. Like, one thing that I've noticed Synergy does really well is he keeps his Rotters around, kind of like bigger pieces with guard. Like, it's really difficult to go after this Rotter when he's standing next to kind of like the bearded aunt here, you know? But we see a power on to Day and Today. Doesn't break armor though. But again, it looks like the High Elves are going to be content to try and just hold their ground here. If Dauntless works, Moranion will get a 2 dice onto the beast here. Though Zara's got Dauntless too, doesn't she? Yeah, that would be 2 dice there. Depending on who you want to go with. See a dodge out for, you know, what, 1 dice onto this Nurgle Warrior with a Loner? Is that what he's looking at? Oh no, he's going right the way around the side for a blitz. Foul Appearance works, and you know, you really don't want to have to roll that, re-roll that at this point in the game. He does still have a 2 dice hit with the Alona here, but you know, he's rightly identified that there's a big hole in his lines here. He needs to drop back with the thrower a little bit to keep it safe. Dauntless works, the Beast of Nurgle goes down, he's getting another 2 dice block here now onto this Rotter. Just takes the push though. Zara follows through, so she could end up being hit. But yeah, we do have this big space now if Synergy wants to kind of send someone through to maybe like pressure the backfield. He's dodged a fair play. He's dodged a Loner out. What I would like to see here is actually a Surf on this catcher. Like, just remove the assist here. Block with the Warrior, put the catcher there, and maybe come across with your killer and just throw this guy off the field. I feel like Synergy spotted it. Just kind of like doing his safe moves first, so moving the Rotter in there, standing the Beast up. Always important. He'll probably decide what he's going to be doing with this piece first. Whether it's like coming back to give an assist there, who he's going to be kind of like marking this guy up with. Or just little decisions like that before he kind of like rolls any dice here. But again, I do really like the way that Banner's playing here. You know, he's kind of like, he's stalling out the drive, you know, he's kind of like fighting for position, you know, trying to stall out as much time as he can to go for the play into overtime. Take the push there, yeah, so he's definitely spotted the Surf here. And the killer just comes across. And that's 1 high elf catcher into the stand. We'll see what the fans in the crowd think of this catcher. Oh, he just gets away with a light rooking there. There's nothing much in that. Having a catcher off the pitch, though, you know, especially the Mighty Blow one, you know, you've made your team a little bit safer there. And also reduced the scoring options for Burner. So we've still got 2 dice to take here on Zara. And it just takes the push, so pushing him into the Nurgle Warrior here, who'll have another 2 dice at him. You just see him pushing more things towards the Beast, I guess. Yeah, it won't be as easy. Oh, mind you, I guess it could be as easy to get 2 dice with Moranion. You just need to clear off this Pestigar first. If you miss both of his guys there, you'll get a 2 dice block there, and then, you know, we'll be relying on Dauntless 2 dice there, 2 dice there. Again, though, Synergy, you know, making that a little bit more difficult with his Rotter placement here. So there's still no pressure on the ball coming forward, but at the same time, like, you know, that's kind of like a trap, isn't it, set by the High Elves? Like, if you commit too many guys forward, you know, you're kind of potentially leaving holes for them to run through and pass over the top of. So yeah, Synergy is just being very disciplined here, staying back. But at the same time, I feel like both coaches here are just doing exactly what they need to do to try and win the game. I've already said I really, really like the way that Burn has played this. Like, a lot of elf coaches just get drawn into the trap of, oh yeah, I'm an elf, I can score really quickly, and they just try to score really quickly all the time. Whereas, you know, Burner's sort of recognized the danger of that, and is actually playing this, you know, to try and get a result, rather than falling into the trap of scoring quickly and then letting the Nurgle come downfield and just kind of like grind him out. There is still the Wizard up as well, which is important to keep in mind here. This is an incredibly high pressure situation though for the Elves, because you'll just be kind of clicking around here thinking, you know, right, okay, where the hell can I actually get dice here? What can I actually do? So we're getting a 1 dice blitz here onto the Pestigar, which means he will be able to kind of, you know, relying on Dauntless, get some hits in the middle again. And hey, if Dauntless works here, they can potentially break through with the Blitzer kind of like running downfield and the catcher here kind of running right through this gap. So we've got a handoff and Disturbing Presence, no problem. But the Disturbing Presence isn't really a thing against the plus Agi. Seeing the leap over the top. Question is, where could he go now? If he, I mean, he could go for the pass play here. I mean, it would be like 2+ to score. I mean, alternatively, you could just step this guy back to say there, and then took a blitz with Moranion, and oh, mind you, no, this works too. Yeah, just dodge that guy. Now you kind of like got a screen here. This is really good play from Burner. That's fine from Moranion. Moranion's kind of like bullying this Beast of Nurgle this game. Which opens up this passing lane for this Blitzer to run through, which is kind of what I was alluding to before. He needs to get someone sort of in this area or something, because, you know, the RG5 Pestigar here, you get to 1 and 9 just to dodge into there for like a 2 dice on the ball, as long as he marks up this loner. You know, right now he can just kind of go this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, GFI for like, you know, 2+. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can either go for like a 1 in 9 there, blitzing straight through for this situation, or you can just kind of like go around the outside and like 2+, 2+, 2+, with 2 dice on the ball. It'll be really interesting to see what sort of line of play Synergy selects here. The lone is failing, dodging through the middle. Again, I like that in this type of play though. You know, you just roll your dice, try to put as much pressure on as possible. Now it's Synergy's turn. So chat, what are we thinking? The 2+, 2+, 2+, or the 1 in 9? L saying 2-2-2, Yabby saying 2-2-2 because it brings the ball further towards your team. Yep, that's a consideration. Incesticide 2+2+2+. Just kind of like moving guys back now, just sort of like failure proofing anything. Making sure that he doesn't have a super easy stall on if you fail like your shot at the ball here. Personally, I like the 2+2+2+, and I'd commit a reroll to it as well. It's a 2+2+2+ to sort of like win the game, so I always like going for plays like that. So he makes the first 2+, fails the second 2+, I'd reroll this, but he still has another 2+ to get the 2 dice on the ball. GFI is good, POW is good. He's gonna block that right back towards his team there. Where's the scatter go? Now we can kind of like put guys next to this here, or maybe kind of dodge the rod route to try and go for a pickup there. We have 1 in 9th to kind of like 2+ the GFIs that you would need to get there. You know, alternatively, you can just kind of like bring this Pestigo back and just mark up the ball with it and say, okay, now your kind of recovery's even harder. I think I would like that, actually, bringing the Pestigo kind of like this position, kind of like around here, because right now, you know, it's not hard for him to kind of like free up any number of these pieces to actually come forward and make a play towards the ball. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you just bring the Pestigo forward here, take this hit here to knock him down. And then you've kind of got a line between the Nurgle warriors and that thing that, you know, you can't really run through. You know, a synergy kind of like, you know, yep, playing the safe way, kind of like bring back the Pestigo next to the ball. Now we're seeing the dodge out with the Rodder. Is he going to go for the pickup? Need 2+, 3+. But I feel like if you go for the pickup and it scatters into a bad place, with the Agi5 here, you know, it's another world you want to live in. Like, right now you can just make it, you know, incredibly difficult for the Agi5 piece. So, like, yeah, just kind of like stand next to the ball. The Rodder! The huge hit on that catcher there. Death, which brings out the Apo. One dice, pow, bam! I mean, sometimes, you know, in like these sort of games we talk about, you know, using the, oh, that's a tackle Rodder. This would be another team reroll if you commit to it. But you have to click your dodge, and then tackle comes up, and then now you decide whether you're going to commit your reroll to this or not. He does commit his reroll to this. And welcome to everyone that's come here from the raid from Crusaders game. Because, of course, you guys will know the results. Do keep in mind that we do have the spoiler rule. So no talking too much about Surge's game. I'll personally be going back and watching the VOD later over on Crusaders channel. I'm sure that all you guys are welcome to as well. So Agi5 Elf just runs through, rolls a 6 there on that pickup. And fails the leap. He did the hard part. Succeeded in the hard part and then failed the 2+. Yeah, you could think about surfing this loner here, but... Or, well... I guess surfing this guy from this position is possible. If you brought someone to there, hit him into there, put him there, and then you would need another guy. Okay, yeah, it's possible, but it's not very likely. I just like the simple play of blitzing it down and securing the ball. This will bring out a reroll from Synergy. Okay, so we are going to see the surf on this one loner here. Put him there. Follow through. Then just knock him back. You don't even need to follow through. Like, yeah, you could commit to the surf on the Agi5, dude, but, you know, it's just... Like, simple's best here, especially in a high-pressure situation like this. Just secure the damn ball. Like, now, obviously, the surf on the loan is correct after the push there. So you just take that block there, put him out. Maybe move this pest... maybe you don't move him because, you know, you've used your... reroll. The wizard is still in play, yes. So the beast stayed down, which means Zara's going to be able to run up the field. Sean Man with the host as well now. Thanks very much for that. Everyone coming over here checking out the ReBBL playoff action between Synergy's, Nurgtown, Crooners and Burners, Highgate, Wardens. So yeah, the play here is obviously picking up with the Ig5, but then you've got to ask yourself, you know, like, where do you go? I think in a way, you maybe take a hit on Moranian here, then go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and kind of, if you had these guys freed up, you could kind of secure some space along the sideline. But up, Synergy is just punching elves, and the elves are falling down at this rate. That was a good play as well, because he's actually made sure he doesn't need to do the dodge out to get to the ball, so he's removed a 2+ to recover it there. 3, 4, 5. He does still have 2 dice on Moranian here with this guy, and then if you move the Rodder down to there, you know, you've maybe got, you know, the sideline sort of secure for the Pestigor to run round into. Oh, duh. For some reason I thought there was actually an elf here, but of course there wasn't. So he didn't have to go around, he could just kind of run straight to the ball. So yeah, I really like this. You got like 2 dice on Moranian here, and if that works... In fact, even if it doesn't work, you just kind of move this tackle guy to there first. Like, if you move this guy to, like, here, and take the hit there, then even if this fails, you know, you're probably still sort of safe. Synergy of a similar mind, he's kind of moved the Rodder further back towards the ball, though. Gets the power on Moranian, who, quite frankly, has been a pain in the arse all game. And that ball is looking as safe as it can get so far. He's not on the sideline as well, which means that there's a very low risk of the ball kind of, you know, in fact, it's just impossible for the ball to scatter out, isn't it? But I imagine we'll probably be seeing the wizard here. And here it comes. right onto the sideline there. So as long as he doesn't roll a 1, he can recover that with RG5. But then it's like, you know, what do you do with the ball after that? He'd be in one stink if he wanted to throw a pass, maybe to kind of like this blitz it and maybe attempt to score. I think that's the play, you know. I don't see any way to make it easier, really. Less 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe you could dodge out with Zara here on like a 1 in 9. Then that'd be 1 dice, wouldn't it, for the scatter there? Oh, RG5 has gone into the end zone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 GFI. And he's failed his dodges. Ooh, this could be a big injury. Apple's gone now. And that's just an MNG on the thrower. And now Zara's probably going into the crowd. Well, you could either... Well, how many could you put into the crowd? Maybe you just put the RG5 into the crowd is probably better, isn't it? Yeah, I think my play probably would have been using the RG5. Oh, there's another injury. Is this a big one? No, it's just badly hurt. So, yeah, I think that... I mean, again, okay, guys, this is no kind of, like, dig on to kind of, like, Burner here, obviously. You know, it's a playoff game. It's a high-pressure game, you know. He kind of, like, you know, he's had his players work well for him in the past, you know, and he's kind of, like, followed the lines he's followed and the success that's brought him here, and he's played incredibly well. So, kind of, like, this was the line of play that he thought, you know, try his best to free up the thrower, to get the thrower onto the ball, and then actually throw it downfield into his RG5. But, which was a fine line of play. I think if I was playing, and what, from the sounds of it, what a lot of you guys in chat would have done is actually tried to recover with the RG5 and then maybe throw into the blitzer or something in this situation here. Yep, so Synergy has now recovered the ball. Got no more wizard to worry about, and he doesn't even have to actually score, so he can just kind of like keep the ball up nice and tight, super safe, and just hold on to it. Yeah, he could have Yabby, but like, you know, you're talking like turns back now. And this isn't like a stream where we like, guys, we're not just looking to pick holes in someone's play or anything here. I think Burn has played incredibly well. You know, in a way, it's kind of like it's instinct, a lot of the stuff that you do on this point. His instincts have definitely kind of like served him well. But Not on that turn that he was going for it, no. He didn't really make any mistakes. He had a line of play that he was going for and he committed to it. Like, you guys could turn around and say that it was a better line or anything, but it was something that was definitely kind of like well thought out. I'm not saying he's made no mistakes all game, because every Blood Bowl coach makes mistakes during a game. Dodge, now the dice are failing him as well. First, mind you, he's trying to dodge through the middle. Like, we all kind of like look at Blood Bowl kind of like through the lens of what's worked for us in the past. So with for instance, I'm an elf coach and I have an Ag5 leap catcher. So when I look at it in these situations, like, I would look at it from like, okay, how would I use my Ag5 leap catcher? And for me, that would have been recovering the ball and then maybe trying to throw with the Ag5 guy. Whereas Burner has obviously had success with his thrower making those types of plays. So I don't think it's a mistake to maybe go for the thrower in that situation. It's just kind of like the different lenses we see Blood Bowl through. I mean, that's the decision you're making, though, isn't it? Like, do you want to make the pass play easier, or do you want to make the ball recovery easier? Because actually getting to the ball with the thrower was incredibly difficult. Whereas getting to it with the RG5 is a lot easier. It's basically just don't roll a 1. And then a pass to kind of like that dude there, you're only talking like... I'd have been surprised if that was more than a 3+ pass, but then you were talking like a 3+ catch and or 2+ dodge. So again, like, just to kind of like summarize, it's like, what do you want to make easier? Do you want to make the actual pass play easier, or do you want to make the ball recovery easier? If you wanted an easier ball recovery, you go with the catcher. If you want the easier pass, go with the thrower. Oh yeah, the thrower's got strong arm, yeah. Tackle doing work for synergy again here. No, I actually looked at disturbing presence. There wasn't that much disturbing presence around the ball. The catch square. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, again, I don't know why we're having this conversation, like... You know, like, Barna made a really good play. I called it out as the good play and the correct play, so, yeah. If any of you guys are taken from this, like me saying, this was wrong, blah, 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 you're not listening to me. I think he's played... With the exception of the screen, which Yabi was critical of, I think he's played the game exceptionally well, and I've said that all the way through. The fact of the matter is, this is always going to be an incredibly difficult matchup for them. So yeah, now we're at 10-16. There's nothing really that I can do to kind of influence the outcome of this game anymore. Maybe you would jump up, I guess, if you roll miracle dodges down the side. But again, tackle's been a really good position here. We're going to see a 10-16 foul from Synergy. I highly doubt it when the ball's in scoring position, John. It's more a question of, like, yeah, I mean, with this guy here with the 3 SPP, you know, you go for the handoff, don't you, and try and score. But just to reiterate, I'll say it again, I really like the strategy that Bernie came into with this game, playing. Like, with the way both he handled both his offensive drives and his defensive drive. I feel like I mentioned at the time, but a lot of elf coaches would have just went, you know, okay, I'm an elf, I can score in 2 turns, and they fall into the trap of 2-turning against a big team like this Nurgle. Whereas Berna didn't fall into that trap, you know, when he came in to try and stall that as much as possible, fight for position, and then score kind of like late on. The screen was like the only mistake in the drive, really. Everything else I thought he did exceptionally well, especially with the way that Moranian more or less bullied the beast all game. That was something I didn't really see coming. And there we go, so that's full time here, and the Highgate Wardens versus the Nurgtown Crooners, with Synergy taking the win and moving into the round of 8. But yeah, that's all from me for today, guys. Look at your playoff calendar, all your playoff action that's coming up. I believe 4 AM for me, so that's in 6 hours from now. Over on Herringzod's channel, we've got Don't Mess With Us versus Bull to the Bone. And a little later on than that, in what, like 11 hours from now, we'll have the Challenger Cup game between Team Fantastic and Smart Models, which currently doesn't have a channel. But it's a little early for me, so don't expect it here. But anyway, guys, that's all for today then. Congratulations to Synergy, commiserations to Burner, and make sure all of you guys check out all of the playoff streams and keep your eye on everything going forward. So once again, guys, I've been Tomo. Thanks very much for watching, and you all have a good evening. Bye bye.